pick up the tempo and put 4 past Danny Lorenz and take a 5-0 lead into the third period. I guess the only thing that's worrisome about that is the Americans seem to play better when they're behind going into the third.
Yeah, they do, because we kind of get our backs up against the wall. Well, that was earlier in the season. Right now, I think the way we're playing now, I think we should take the lead early and get it the rest of the game. We're totally dominating Seattle out here, especially dominating their defensemen. Our forwards are all over them and just skating by them every which way you can, and we're getting big goaltending from Olaf Kolzig, and everything seems to be going our way right now.
2 power play goals, Reeves and Jason Bowen getting them on the power play. McNutt and Rennie also with a pair of goals, and the Americans take a 5-0 lead into the third period. That was Reeves getting his second goal of the night, McNutt getting 1, Rennie has 1, and Jason Bowen has 1. So Bowen now has a goal in the last 2 games, and that's good to see for a youngster like him.
Oh, yeah, it's great to see a guy like Jason Bowen getting some confidence out there. He plays a real physical style of the game, and for him to get a goal or 2 now and then is just a bonus for him. And it's nice to see that, you know, a lot of our guys are scoring now for us, and I think that's an advantage we have over a team like Seattle, whereas they've got to rely on 3 or 4 guys to do all their scoring, whereas we kind of rely on our whole team. And when everybody's going, then we're kind of unbeatable.
Tri-City Americans and Seattle Thunderbirds, the Americans leading 5-0. We'll be back with Tony Ott in the Founders Club right after this. Back at the Tri-Cities Coliseum, and we'll go now to the Founders Club and Tony Ott. Tony?
All right, thank you, Kirk. We are in the Founders Club right now, and joining me in the second intermission, and boy, what a second intermission it is for the Tri-City Americans fans, as the Americans lead the Seattle Thunderbirds by a score of 5-0. And let's face it, folks, last night it was the #1 ranked team throughout Major Junior Hockey throughout Canada. Tonight it's the #3 ranked team. So the Americans definitely playing some good hockey as of late, and have really got a great lead ahead right now going into that third period. Joining me up here in the Founders Club is Mr. Bob Owen, who is the Director of Scouting for the Los Angeles Kings of the National Hockey League. And first off, Bob, welcome to the Tri-Cities Coliseum.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Now, Bob, obviously the Los Angeles Kings, the glitter of the National Hockey League. They've got a lot of big-name people, and obviously the biggest name of all in the National Hockey League, Mr. Wayne Gretzky.
Well, yes, life certainly changed for the Los Angeles Kings on August the 8th, a year and a half ago. It's tremendous impact on the game of hockey and the city of Los Angeles. His pictures on billboards just about on every other street corner, and you have to be pretty big to get that done in L.A.
With that kind of recognition now down there in Los Angeles, what's it doing for hockey? I mean, down in a place where it's fashionable to show up late to a Laker game, but have they been able to go over and do that now with the Los Angeles Kings?
Well, they're showing up late for the Kings games. I was sitting in there the night before last, and they didn't exactly show up in time. But no, it's been absolutely phenomenal. The revenues generated by this trade have just been beyond Mr. McNall's dreams and expectations. It's been fabulous, really. And for hockey all throughout the United States, it's just been great.
Now, the big thing I think that a lot of people are looking at is that with a team down in Southern California, you've got tremendous revenue, or expenses, I should say, in traveling. Probably the highest in the country because of the fact that you're all by yourself out here. There's nobody out here to play. We talked earlier in the first intermission with the gentleman from the Calgary Flames about expansion. Obviously, for the Los Angeles Kings, it would benefit you guys to have another team there in California, wouldn't it?
There's no question about it. We would be the biggest benefactors of any expansion to the West Coast. There's no question, not in terms of travel, interest, generally keeping this thing going on the West Coast United States or in some large TV markets. We would be the biggest benefactors. There's no question about it. The travel is, for our team is unbelievable, really. They spend more hours in the air and in airports than
they do in the rink, actually.
Oh, no question about it.
We're talking with Bob Owen, who's the Director of Scouting for the Los Angeles Kings. We'll take the time out. We'll be right back. The score, the Americans 5 and the Seattle Thunderbirds 0. I'm Tony Ott. Bob Owen, the Director of Hockey, or Scouting, excuse me, for the Los Angeles Kings, joins us now in the second intermission. The Americans lead 5-0 over the Seattle Thunderbirds, and Bob, quite a contest out there. the Americans are playing just terrific hockey as of late.
They have really, tonight, this is the first time I've seen them in quite a while, and it's a much improved hockey team from what I saw earlier. Like tonight, they're getting excellent goaltending. They're forechecking very well. They're capitalizing on their chances. They're doing just about everything tonight against a good team that you could really expect a junior hockey team to do, and I'm sure Rick is very, very happy so far this game.
Unfortunately, you're not being able to take a look at a guy that you took in the 12th round, I believe, with the Los Angeles Kings, and that, of course, is Steve Jaques. And Steve pulled up with a bad arm last night up in Kamloops, has been playing his heart out here. Tell us why you guys decided on Steve Jaques.
Well, through investigations and talking with the coaches and obviously watching Steve play for 2 years before he was drafted, we were more than impressed with his character. He's a game kid. He shows up every night. He does have some skill. He's you know, people can see he's limited some night in skating. And for a National League defenseman, he's maybe not as tall as most are, but we really like his character and the fact that this kid showed up every night to play. And maybe someday, hopefully, we could work him into our organization somewhere, because you can't buy character.
Speaking of character, and I know a lot of Tri-City Americans fans know about this character that Steve Jaques carries around with him. I'm sure you're very familiar with the Bill LaForge incident that happened up here in December. And Steve Jaques was one of the gentlemen that just basically stayed away from it. And one of the things that he received from these people here is a lot of confidence. He was all by himself, and he really stood out there, and that took a lot of guts. And again, the character word is used again. I know that you guys were in contact with him about it, and I'm sure that you guys felt the same way about it.
Well, there's no question. I was in Europe at the time when I first heard about it. Our Western scout Al Murray got in contact with Steve, and there's no question that we let him know that we supported the position that he took, because really, you know, all throughout your hockey career, I mean, things are not always going to go your way you like them to see them go, but you're there to play hockey. You are a hockey player first, and you have to throw yourself and your loyalty behind the club first. Now, your teammates, yes, there is loyalty there, but you're a hockey player, and we fully support the stand that Steve took, and I think, I'm not saying that all the other players are wrong. We think that Steve did the right thing.
All right. Let's talk a little bit about the Los Angeles Kings. Big trade just the last couple of weeks. Bernie Nichols went off to the New York Rangers. In exchange, Tony Granato and Thomas Sandstrom. Has it worked out for you guys?
Well, so far, the team is in, I guess you'd call it a state of flux. We've made this, it's a major, major trade. Bernie Nichols is a big star in L.A., and there's no question about it, a big star. And Mr. McNall does not like to trade the big names, but they did it. We were old and slow on the wings. We got two young, very, very fast skating, very, very good hockey players, and we had to give up something for it. And we think in the long run it's going to be even, but our team is going to be younger and quicker when this trade slowly works itself through our system. And I know it was a huge name to give away. He got 70 goals last year. He's a big name in the league, but something had to be done. We were losing because we were slow. We were old. And
you just had to do it to improve for the future.
There's no question about it, and the immediate future, like this April when playoffs roll around. Like we just didn't have the legs we felt to really get through any kind of a playoff at all.
Are you disappointed so far with the season that the Kings have had?
Well, certainly. I think everybody in our organization is disappointed. There's a lot of reasons for it. It's just been. Calgary are a very good team. Edmonton have really come on gangbusters, and we've had our moments where we've played well for 10 games, and then boom, away we go back in the tank again for a couple. We can't gain any consistency, and the team needs a little shaking up and let these boys down there know that, hey, they're serious about this. Like, they want to win badly, and they want to win right now. And I think the trade kind of let people know just how unhappy the management was with the team.
Real quickly, one more question for you, Bob. I know that Bruce McNall is a sort of a maverick right now in the National Hockey League, very deep pockets. He's willing to pay his players a lot of money. Reports out now that the players have now openly given out the salaries. Of course, the one salary that a lot of people in the Los Angeles region would like to know about, and that, of course, is in the Pittsburgh area, and that's Mario Lemieux. Now he's come out, and reports are saying that Wayne Gretzky is going to be topping that. Is it $3 million or $4 million?
Well, he just got a raise yesterday. I was in L.A. last night, and and Thursday they announced, they had a press conference and announced another raise for Wayne. It's a huge sum of money for 9 years. It's
Staggering amounts of money.
I can't fathom that much money, really. I'm not an owner, that's for sure. But Wayne got himself a very, very nice raise, and well deserved, because I think when he first came, they gave him a good, healthy raise, and rightly so. But the revenues he's generated have been so staggering that Mr. McNall promised him if it went beyond his expectations, that he would take care of him, and
he certainly has.
he certainly take care of him very, very well this week, that's for sure.
That's exactly right. Bob, it's a pleasure talking with you, and good luck to the Los Angeles Kings organization, and enjoy the remaining part of this game.
Thank you very much.
All right. Bob Owen is the director of scouting for the Los Angeles Kings. We'll take the timeout. Kirk Williamson and Steve Jaques calling the action for you back up in the booth. The score, the Americans 5 and the Seattle Thunderbirds 0. Back after this.